When the skies over New Terra ignited in nuclear fire, the galaxy barely blinked. The Zarn Dominion called it corrective action, a swift and brutal punishment against what they saw as an upstart species expanding too quickly, too far. Earths. Colonies had grown strong, scattered across the Orion Arm like sparks from a roaring fire. But to the Zarn, they were nothing more than weeds choking out civilized order. The orbital bombardment lasted 17 minutes. Over 3 million civilians perished. The cries from dying worlds echoed across subspace channels. Silenced one by one, the Galactic Council issued a strong condemnation. Nothing more but what no one realized, not the Zarn, not the Council, not the other smug ancient empires, was that humanity had forgotten nothing of its brutal past. Peace had made them gentle, but beneath the softness, the old giants still breathed. They had only been sleeping high above the scorched remnants of Colony V9. The Zarn Admiral Koresh stood on the bridge of his flagship, basking in the glow of another successful cleansing. His chitinous fingers tapped a rhythm on the console, pride swelling through his thorax. They never even fired back, Koresh sneered, mandibles clacking in amusement. Spineless mammals. A comms officer interrupted, nervous. Admiral, we're detecting something. No, something's approaching from Deep Soul Sector. More colonists trying to flee? Koresh asked, bored. No, Admiral, the officer whispered. It's a fleet. A human fleet. But these ships, they're not in any known registry. Koresh turned, antennae twitching. Unknown? The display lit up with signals, hundreds of warships moving in eerie formation, silent with no IFF codes. Each one bore markings long erased from Earth's records, names like Leviathan, Goliath class, and the chilling phrase, Project Vengeance. Were real? The officer gasped. The old war rumors, those weren't myths. 2 centuries ago, after Earth's last global war, humanity had constructed a secretive defense initiative, the Titan Protocols. Knowing peace never lasted, they built weapons not meant to win wars, but to end them before they began. The vessels were a eye-guided crewless, hidden in deep cryo-orbit around gas giants and black holes. Humanity called them the sleeping giants. They were never meant to wake unless Earth itself was threatened. And now the trigger had been pulled. In the Terran command vault buried beneath the Himalayas, General Ava Mendez stood before the ancient control panel, eyes locked on the transmission feed. All units confirmed Awaken, said the AI voice. Command authorization accepted. Titans online. Mendez exhaled slowly. God help them. The first fleet of Zarn warships encountered Titan Unit 03, Gravedigger, in orbit of Delta Helion. They fired without warning. The humans never responded on COMMS. They simply annihilated the attackers. Gravedigger's spiral railguns punched through 3 Zarn dreadnoughts in a single pass. It's an cold and ancient, calculated threats with terrifying efficiency. It left no survivors. From there, the war changed. Zarn systems began going dark, entire fleets disappearing without distress signals. The Titans didn't fight wars. They executed judgment. Across the galaxy, Terran sleeper weapons awakened orbital ion lances, neutron bombs disguised as asteroids, self-aware cyber viruses that infected alien databases and turned shipboard. AI into suicide protocols. It wasn't just vengeance. It was a calculated purge. Admiral Koresh found himself staring at the final sensor sweep of Sector 12. It had been one of their strongest military zones. Now it was just static. What are these monsters? He whispered. Then came the first human broadcast. It wasn't a demand. It wasn't a plea. It was a simple statement. We restrained ourselves. We won't anymore. Entire civilizations began panicking. Trade routes collapsed. Old enemies of the Zarn now offered peace treaties to Earth. Galactic historians scrambled to revise their understanding of human history. Suddenly, the Terrans were not young and fragile. They were ancient and cunning, a race that had survived its own near extinction, and learn the cruel mathematics of total war. And when the Titans were done with the Zarn fleets, they didn't stop, they targeted the factories. The political centers, the breeding worlds, each strike was surgical. Each world left with one surviving message carved into orbit in nanosteel. You did this. In orbit above the burning Zarn homeworld, General Mendez appeared via Hala to the crumbling council. "We asked only for peace," she said, eyes unreadable. "You showed us fire." So we gave it back tenfold. The council speaker, trembling, tried to speak. What do you want now?" Mendez turned and walked away. The connection severed. Back on Earth, the people wept for their colonies. But they did not ask for revenge, because the Titans had already given them justice. And across the stars, the once proud races now spoke of humanity in whispers, not as prey, not as children, not as colonists, but as giants, sleeping no longer,